Hello guys, it's Gabbar here and welcome back to another video. It's time for a CPC episode today and I got all of my phones here for you. Not everyone from here has been in my use, some of these are from my relatives and of course not every phone that we have owned is here, but I have saved some of them. In this video we will take a look at all of them and also test them if they work. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so first let's check out the phones that are broken and then in the end the ones that still function. So here's the first one and this is the Nokia 2600. This beast here was released in 2004 and was an entry-level device back in the day, running Nokia's Series 30 operating system. This is basic, not even having Bluetooth radio or a camera, and only an 128x128 color display. This is one of the best sold phones ever, with over 135 million units delivered, so this is not a rare product. This phone also got a successor, 2610, which was released in 2006. This has an old weird charging port, so I can get this to work. Will be interesting to see if this still works after charging this old battery, but we cannot do that now, unfortunately. Alright, it's time to move on to a phone from a different generation. This is the 2016 Samsung Galaxy J5, which was in my use, and I actually even created this channel with this, believe it or not. This Samsung was the 2016 model, this also had a 2015 and 2017 models. This has a Snapdragon 410 processor with Adreno 306 GPU and 16 GB of storage supported by 2 GB of RAM. The battery is pretty small, only 3100 amp hours, and it gets charged via USB micro, which I hated. Good that this timeline is over. One of the best things about this phone was the screen, which I remember was gorgeous. It is an HD AMOLED display, so that was a nice panel back in the day. This came with Android 6, which was upgradable to Android 7.1.1. My unit died in 2019 because the screen broke. As you can see it here, we have some little scratch, if you see it, yeah, here. And this was replaced by my Sony Xperia L3, which we are going to take a look at a moment. This was actually in some ways even better than the Sony one. But yeah, I have a lot of my memories packing into this. Will be nice to get this back working someday, but that someday is yet to come. Let's move on to the next one. Next we have the Nokia 3710 Fold feature phone. And this is another feature phone made in 2009, and this is a flip phone, as you can see. This is a phone that I have not been using, but which I got from my relatives. It is still in really good condition, but it appears that it doesn't work, so that's pretty bad. It looks like brand new, but still there's some problem that it can be turned on. Don't know what that is, but maybe some inside problem. This has 70 megabytes of memory using the Nokia Series 40 operating system and 70 megabytes of storage. The screen is 320p, 2.2 inch TFT screen, and the camera system is 3.2 megapixel single camera, and this also supports 3G, so this was able to connect to the internet, but obviously not anymore because the 3G is discontinued. Next we have this beautiful Samsung Galaxy S7, which was not in my use, but this is a great part of Samsung's S series history, so it's saved. This Samsung screen is also really broken, so this cannot be turned on as well. This unit has Samsung's own Exynos 8090 chipset, but in the US this was also sold with the Snapdragon 820. The entry-level model has 32 gigs of memory, the maximum is 128 gigs, and this has always 4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. This runs Android 8, but it's possible with these specs to upgrade even to Android 13 with some unofficial tricks. Yeah. The screen is an awesome 1440p Quad HD AMOLED screen. The charging happens, of course, with the USB micro, with 50 watts of power supported. The camera was flagship material, supporting slow motion video capturing and 4K video and photo capturing. It's weird to say, but this S7 has even a better camera system in some ways than my daily driver Galaxy A52s, so that tells something. Honestly, this will be amazing to get back to work, especially because of the camera. It could be a solid second camera for me if I need two cameras someday when making some projects. This unit, I believe, died in 2020. Time to move on to the next one. So here we have the Samsung Galaxy A20s. This one has also its screen broken. I wonder why every single Galaxy has problem with their screens. Well, this A20s was released in 2019 and it was part of the first generation of the so-called Galaxy A series with the 20s name. It has Snapdragon 450 chipset with Adreno 506 GPU, a 6.5-inch with 720p HD LCD screen, 32 or 64 GB of storage, and 3 or 4 GB of DDR3 RAM. It has Android 9, which can be upgraded to Android 11. The battery is 4000 amps and it gets charged via USB-C. This was actually discontinued just a couple months ago at the start of 2023. But let's move on to the next one. Now let's take a look at the Sony Xperia X Performance. Oh man, this is a nice one. This Sony was unveiled in 2016 and was a Sony's flagship model back then. It features a 1080p 5-inch screen, a Snapdragon 820 chip with 3 GB of RAM, and 32 or 64 GB of storage. You can upgrade your memory situation with a SD card with a maximum capacity of 200 gigs. The camera is still pretty good to this day, and I have actually captured a couple of videos with this, for example my Nintendo Switch collection video. The only real downside here is the battery, which died in this unit. This actually worked last year when I tested this, but not anymore. I charged this and still it has 0 battery left, so we cannot get this to work. This should have originally even a bit worked, but now it doesn't work at all, so that's unfortunate, really unfortunate. And this could have been even my daily driver someday. The battery was the reason why I used L3 instead of this. This only lasts for about 30 minutes back then, while in the Xperia L3 I guess it was like 5 hours or something like that, so much better. But it's time to change the phone and finally to the working ones. The first working one is my first phone, the Samsung S5610. This feature phone was released in 2011, but this specific model was released in 2014. This has 256 megabytes of storage, 1000 amps battery, 2.4-inch 320p LCD screen, and the CPU is about 460 megahertz. This also gained a bit of extra popularity because this phone was actually featured in James Bond's Spectre movie released in 2015. As I said, this is my first phone and it still works, which is the most amazing part. Let's turn it on and let's see what it has inside. It says the model name. Turns on pretty quickly actually. We can see for the first time that the battery is not at its best. Wait a minute, where did I go? The time is wrong and the date is wrong as well, so the time battery doesn't work anymore, so that's unfortunate. But let's check out some of the apps here. Let me turn this to English so you can understand what is in here. Alright, so here we have the main menu interface in here. We have contacts, messages, some music, I've downloaded some music in here, some old stuff, and also some apps. We have a Google, don't know, Google search, FM radio. Also, this was a nice feature. I listened it a couple of times. We have the aux port here. Image editor might not be the most advanced, but yeah, games and more. Here's some apps and games. We got Facebook, can be pretty big version because 728 kilobytes of storage has taken from that. And also Asphalt 6, that was really cool. We can actually play that for a bit. Yes, we want sounds. Really nostalgic looking game. Here we go. Press 5, alright. Instant race. And let's go. Let's see how this goes. How to control this, okay? Yeah, this was crazy game. Just listen to the music, amazing. Okay, that's enough. Do you want to finish? No. And let's quit. Okay, so we are back here. Calendar, just a basic calendar, shows the date wrong. It's not January 2011. And then we have the camera. 3 seconds of time to capture. You can see from the screen that, yeah, in 2014 that was okay, I guess, but not anymore. Alarms, you can create some alarms. Word clock, you can get some time zones here. Pretty nice. Memo means that some little tasks that you want to do, you can mark them here. And tasks is like the same thing as well. Then we have the settings. Then we have Samsung apps, which we can get to work because we don't have a SIM card. But I think that that needs an internet connection to work. Then we have English dictionary, because why not? Then we have Facebook, we don't have a SIM card. Twitter as well. I have like no idea what this means. Instant Messenger is the app. We got Yahoo. We could try to sing in, but let's not do that now. Facebook. Oh, Facebook can be turned on.
Okay.
Well, we cannot log into that. Bluetooth, I guess. You can search for some Bluetooth. Let's see. So now I have the Bluetooth on. Can I now? It appears that it doesn't work. Okay, well, that doesn't work, but maybe this could handle even Bluetooth, which would be nice. Communities, you get some apps in here again. I don't know what this means in particular, but you get that. Then we have internet, which doesn't work because we don't have a SIM card. Yeah. Active soon, no idea what this means. And email as well. Welcome to the email setup wizard. So you got Google Mail, Hotmail, and Windows Live. You could actually get this to work somehow, I guess. So this was the Samsung S5610, and a pretty nice nostalgic device here. I think we should move on to the next phone. So this video will be half an hour long. So let's move on to the next one. And last but not least, we have the Sony Xperia L3. As some of you might know, this was my daily driver from summer 2019 to all the way to summer 2022, so 3 years. When this came out, I enjoyed using this more than how it feels nowadays. Back then it had a solid performance, a solid screen, and a pretty good battery life. But nowadays the software is really all been in Android 8 and the performance is pretty poor. The camera as well is not as good as you might see when watching some of my older videos. The processor here is a MediaTek Helio P22, and this also has 32 GB of storage and 3 GB of RAM. The screen is 5.7 inch 720p LCD screen, nothing special. And this charges thankfully with a USB-C port. This phone was succeeded by the Xperia L4 released in 2020. Which is still the latest version of the L series, and it might have that title forever. Let's boot up my old daily driver for the one more time. It says Sony, pretty nice. Here we have my old daily driver menu over here. We have all of my apps in here, Discord, Instagram. Yeah, really much lagging in here. What was really bad about this was that this came with Android 8, and believe it or not, this still has Android 8. It upgraded only to Android 8.1, so that was one of the worst part of this phone. Let's try out Angry Birds. So let's play for that for a bit. Why not? Yeah, it takes a long time to boot up. Now you're starting to see why I changed my phone. This is always a good entertainment. Let's wait for a bit. You seem to be offline. No, I'm not. I'm on the internet. What do you say? Okay, let's continue to play. Alright, let's play some level in here. Let's go to Mine and Dine. First level of the second half. Hello? Yeah, there we go. Why can't I zoom in? That's pretty weird. It's like 30 FPS or something like that. How this runs. So yeah, it's running really slowly. I got one more red in here. And I won the level, so that was nice. 2 stars. Okay. So that was my old daily driver, Sony Xperia L3. You see why I changed from this. You can also watch my Samsung Galaxy A52s review to see some more performance tests and also some camera tests, how this performs when I think about the camera. You can check that out. But yeah, there was a clear reason why I changed from this. That was the last phone that we're going to take a look at today. So let's move on to the conclusion of this video. So those were all of the phones that I have for now. This was a surprisingly long episode. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this. I think that's all I have for you today. See you again in the next CPC video and other topics as well. Bye bye.